to the Phantom Radio Sports Show. It's Tuesday, it's 4 minutes past 3. We're going to be telling you about all things sport this week, including Derby County's promotion back to the Championship. Sean Dyche has got himself in some hot bother musically. He's decided to get involved with Blossoms, who you'll be hearing from in a second. There's that and so much more coming up after we hear from the band themselves.
The Blossoms kicking off the show, the Phantom Radio Sports Show with me, Ciaran Morrison, and him, Alfie Dickin, for another week.
Indeed,
in beautiful sunshine.
Sunshine.
But we are stuck in here speaking to you today.
Wow, not that we don't want to.
But we love it, don't we?
We chose to do this, yes. But yeah, May is here.
Finally arrived after all the wet and the wind and everything. It's finally feels like. You know, you're wearing shorts today, so that just says
exactly.
Yeah.
I just I thought I'd own it today and put the old shorts on. Not that I'm in a sort of sporty mood beyond conversation.
Derby looking splendid in the sunshine after a good weekend for the Rams. We'll get onto that a little bit later.
Indeed. That was also Blossoms Ribbon Around the Bomb there. The song before that that started the show was Bad Habits by Oceanless, which is Phantom Radio's Song of the Week this week. I think that song came out last Friday, so quite a new one.
If you enjoyed it, go and check it out on your wherever you get your songs.
Also check out Phantom Media US on Instagram for more of our songs of the weeks and keeping up to date with what's going on around the radio station.
We had Taylor Swift last week, so the good songs keep on coming.
You make it sound like she was in the studio. To be clear, she was just our song of the week because it would be.
She was here celebrating with the Rams on Saturday.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I think she hasn't decided to ditch Travis Kelce and go with some Derby player. That's not the way, not quite. Taylor Swift is not going to be seen on Instagram Live at 1:30 in the morning in Revolution de Cuba, is she now? She's probably going to be on a private jet like she usually is.
Stranger things have happened. There was a London pub that apparently she referenced in a song, then a load of people flocked there.
Yes, is that a sort of Matty Healy-based reference, possibly? Hello and welcome to the sports show. That's what this is. We're talking about Matty Healy for some reason. Entirely sporty related.
It's also a music show a little bit as well.
We do good play songs music. On the show. We attempt to play good songs on the show, certainly.
But yeah, shall we get into the actual sport?
Yeah.
Shall we start with Sean Dyche and the...
Well, we should. So you said, shall we get into the actual sport? And here's a story that's sort of not about sport, but you can only talk a bit about. But anyway, I shall retweet this in a moment on, I think, my account, not the sports account, because no one follows the sports account. You can follow the show at Sport on Phantom on Twitter and at Phantom Radio Sports Show on Instagram. You can also follow me at Alfie Dickin on Twitter, and then on Instagram it's just Alfie_Dickin. There you go. I shall retweet this video by Blossoms on my Twitter and put it on my Instagram story as well.
Because it's a good little video, isn't it?
It's interesting. About it. Blossoms are dropping their new single, What Can I Say, brackets, After I'm Sorry, close brackets, on Wednesday the 1st of May. And Sean Dyche, of all people, appears in the new music video. What's he wearing in the video? A suit, unlike recent weeks where he's decided to edit his attire for good luck for the Toffees, and it seems to have worked. It is working, where he's been on the sideline wearing full club shop merchandise. He is actually donning the shirt and jacket combo that we're used to seeing him in this video. But yes, involved in a Blossoms video. Sean Dyche, of course, well known for when he was sacked from Burnley for appearing at about 5 gigs within the space of as many days. He was at Rock City. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. In Nottingham, he appeared about the place, looking like ever the cool dad that he is shaping up to be. He's down with the kids and into the tunes. An indie band does not go amiss in the ears of Sean Dyche, it would appear. And he's teamed up with one here, with Blossoms taking him into the video of their new single. Quite an interesting story. Why not? I quite like the video Sean as well. Dyche. Yeah. Tell us a bit more about it then. Could you describe the video?
Well, he sits down with the band, doesn't he, at the start?
That's right.
And then he sets them out on a mission or something.
But
then the camper van breaks down.
Yeah. He sort of gives them a bit of a pep talk, a bit of a team talk. Then goes on the phone to them saying, "Where are you?" And then they break down. For some reason, they got balaclavas on.
He's just sat there.
He's also sat down, bopping his head up and down to the music. And yes, that will be out on Wednesday, the 1st of May, the actual song, and more than likely the full video, including Sean Dyche. So keep your ears peeled. I was about to say. I meant eyes peeled and ears poised for that new music.
Well, at least Dyche has got something on the side for when maybe the football managerial career has to end.
It's the off-season break coming up soon, so I imagine Blossoms have got some tour dates that you wouldn't mind popping along to.
I think they're probably giving him free tickets, aren't they?
If he doesn't appear on stage at, like, I don't know, Glastonbury or something at some point, do the full Bears from Happy Mondays, not contributing musically in any way, shape or form, beyond just bopping around on the stage, throwing your arms around, nodding your head a bit. Maybe eat some worms live. Does an Ozzy Osbourne, but with worms instead of a bat's head. That could be the option there. But yeah, Sean Dyche getting groovy with Blossoms.
Wow. And yeah, as we said, Dyche has ditched the suit for the tracksuit on the touchline, and Everton have won all 3 games. So I wonder what's going to happen when they eventually lose the games. Are you going to go back to the suit or stay with the tracksuit?
This is the Neil Warnock thing, a clip that continually circulates every so often, where he says, I think it was while he was with Crystal Palace, maybe. And he says, at one point we were on a winning streak and I had worn my lucky pants sort of every day or something. And he was like, he'd gone like weeks without washing his underwear because he thought they were lucky. Now, I think that's madness.
Yeah, that is too far.
Please just wash your underwear. It really doesn't make a difference. However, club shop merchandise, look, you can make the most of the benefits of being the manager.
Yeah.
Is surely all the free merch
Paul
you get.
Warne is the big one,
Of
the
course,
derby with the bobble hat.
The funniest thing about that, I don't know whether I said it on the show at the time, but I went to Derby's game against Port Vale it's probably a month or so ago now, where they won quite convincingly, and Vale have obviously been relegated since then. Anyway,
Wow.
Not the point. At the end, Paul Warne did his interview, and Derby had just announced a new sponsorship with the app Fan Hub. And therefore, during his post-match interview, he came out of the tunnel donning a Fan Hub bobble hat. So, look, these people know how to sell things, and Paul Warne is number one man for club merchandise. Tony Pulis used to own the cap game in football.
Well, Arsene Wenger, the long coat.
That's true.
You can't zip.
And probably not a very good advert for those coats, because they seem to go faulty so often for him. But the cap on Tony Pulis and the bobble hat on Paul Warne certainly doing their job. Indeed.
And the fact that the long coat's about 200 odd quid these days. It's like, who's going to buy that if you can't zip it up?
Someone who is going to buy a really big long coat is our favourite pundit Ian Wright.
Oh, yeah.
Famously.
He's going to buy a duvet.
That coat was... Yeah, exactly. That coat was so big, it barely fit anyone else in the camera shot when he was there. It just filled the whole frame. Anywho, we'll be back to talk a bit more about Derby County after a bit of Aztec Camera. This is Somewhere in My Heart.
Derby are back in the Championship. It was rammed out there in the city centre on Saturday night. It was rammed before the game as well. The city.
Are you stealing my pun there? Unbelievable.
I think Potwell had the pun first, actually.
Joke
Wednesday night.
Theft of my joke there by you, but I'll let it slide. Indeed, this show we could do, a good chunk of time.
We could do a special like Sports Scene did.
Yes, that's true. Well, they did 2 actually,
2 hours,
but
we could just do an hour because
we'll do one nice and positive hour and not talk about this.
We're not going to talk about the Championship with Derby next season. No, we're not negative. They won't go down.
We'll see. Anyway, we're not going to bask in that. We're going to chat all about Derby County's sealing of promotion at the weekend. Just after we have a little discussion beforehand about your weekend, because I suppose that might be overshadowed in a moment. How did you do this weekend? What were you up to?
What did I go to? Friday night was nice and chill. Saturday, obviously watched the Derby match, and then I did stats perform work. I was watching Fulham v Palace, which was all right, but it was you could sort of tell there was nothing really to play for, but it was a decent game, 1-1. Jeffrey Shupp with a absolute weldy at the end, and then I continued to watch football for the rest of the night. Everton Brentford was a bit boring, to be honest, but Hull v Ipswich, that was a 3-3 thriller. We'll get onto the Championship later. And then Sunday we were at Derby County Women, and we met the owner, Mr. Clowes, at the game, and it was a 4-3. Now, first half maybe wasn't spectacular, but the second half it came to life, definitely in terms of the goals. Signed off from me. That's my last ever Derby Women game after joining last season, doing that for 2 years.
Yeah, quite a big moment for you.
Big moment, yeah.
Still got into the paper.
Yeah, we had the Derby Telegraph today.
Yes, if you pick up the Derby Telegraph today, you can find Ciaran on the, not the back page, the one back when you open it up, whatever you, the penultimate page.
Please also, if you get the Derby Telegraph, please give us the arrow word. It's gone missing.
Yes, we picked up the Derby Telegraph and wanted to do the arrow word because we are old men in disguise as 21 and 22.
I'm 21, mate.
Still 21.
I'm still 21.
21-year-olds.
Not 22 yet.
Not quite. We're in disguise as 21-year-olds, as, the old men that we are. So we wanted to do the arrow word, but someone asked us if they could take the token for the National Trust that was in the middle of the paper. We said, yeah, of course, because we're not going to use that. Forgetting, of course, that the arrow word was attached to the other side of that. So we were a bit baffled. Anyway, this is us talking about Derby County's promotion, apparently.
Well, I was just talking about my weekend. That's what's happened, mate.
So, in any case, yes, quite a good weekend for all you because they won. All you Rams fans out there. Because, as you say, I'm going to once again nick the pun. It was rammed in the city centre. Reports, of course, that from, I think, pubs showing the match, Derby County against Carlisle on Saturday, reports that the pubs showing the match were full up by around 8:45 in the morning. Kickoff, of course, was at 12:30. So people really wanted to get a seat. Actual tickets for the game, of course, were quite sparse to come by, and a bit of a rarity, as it is, Derby County's biggest game of, the last sort of, you could even argue the last sort of decade or so, one of their biggest games, maybe since their playoff final of all those years ago under Frank Lampard to get into the Premier League. Their biggest game at least since then, so a huge atmosphere rocketing throughout the city on the day, and people just wanted tickets to get to see it, and if not, they'll have to cram into the pub to go and watch it on Sky Sports. You watched it on Sky.
I did watch it on Sky at home, yeah.
I watched it through a camera, but that was through a camera that I was operating, because the last minute I was asked to come and help Rams TV, which I was very happy about. Incredibly privileged to be there. I know there were a lot of people who, as I say, were desperate to get tickets and go and watch the game, but I got a front row seat, as it were, or sort of, I could zoom in as close or as far out as I wanted from the game, to be honest. But yeah, I got to operate the cameras for Rams TV. Went in the studio before the game, and they do their pre-show and their debrief afterwards, and operated the cameras in there. It was all very good fun. Best game to go and watch as well. Doing it, it was quite the wild one. The game itself,
over in 5 minutes.
This is the thing, right? Because Carlisle, bottom of the league, Derby needed a draw was enough to win them promotion at the very least, and then a win would definitely clinch it. But Bolton had to get a result to even trouble them. In the end, Bolton didn't get a result away at Peterborough.
I think they probably heard the news, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. It all sort of went the way of
Derby. They went 2-0 up in about first 5-10 minutes,
and
didn't
then,
they?
Was it 3-2 that it ended?
And then they lost like 3-2. Yeah.
But it's one of those, isn't it, where the circumstances presented what could have been a banana skin, where if Bolton had won against Peterborough, then Carlisle, the worst team in the league, who are rock bottom, I think just the kind of team that in football you go, oh well, that's exactly the fixture we want, and then you end up, as you say, banana skin slipping up against them. But no, it was a comfortable day, a lovely sunny day. The sun was out, the atmosphere was absolutely bouncing in Pride Park, and yeah, you could really feel it across the whole city, I think, to be fair. And I think everyone just sort of believed that it was going to happen, and there were flags everywhere. I can't remember who, but I think it's a fan group organised these quite incredible cartoon flags to be made, that quite massive flags that all the fans were waving about. It was quite the atmosphere built up, and yeah, a really good game. As you say, sort of over within the first 5 minutes.
Because then Carlisle needed 2, you see, and they were pretty toothless up front, so you didn't see them scoring 1, let alone 2.
Max Bird's goal,
great strike,
was quite something.
But I thought the second goal was also good. The way Collins controls the ball, and then the finish was good as well.
Yeah, it was a really positive start, and I think, as you say, in a game where
settled the nerves, didn't it?
Yeah, the nerves could have been high. They scored that goal, and Max Bird signing off from his time at Derby County in style, as he of course heads off to Bristol City, having signed for them in January to get guaranteed championship football next season. He will have that, but not with his boyhood club, as he will be leaving. But I think he left in the best way possible, and Derby will be happy to take the money from his transfer, and hopefully can use that to work their way upwards in the championship, and a bit more funding was required. So, every cloud, as it were, and he certainly signed off in the best way possible. But yeah, quite a comfortable ride for Derby, who, I've got to say, looked quite impressive on the day.
Yeah, they did. I think there was a moment after the first goal, because they come out so quickly that they then
sat back
a little bit, and they weren't quite as maybe attacking. But you can understand that. They don't want to give away, a cheap goal. They don't want to let Carlisle back into the game. And yeah, they were impressive, and it was an amazing day for the city of Derby. You could see that even before the match ended, we all knew there was going to be a pitch invasion, but they were literally already on the pitch before the final whistle, which I think that's the first time I've seen that level of wanting so eagerly to get on the
Obviously,
pitch and
officially, you're not supposed to get on the pitch.
We've got to do the terms and conditions.
And the EFL
don't condone it.
Fans to be wandering on the pitch, but ultimately, it is futile to attempt to stop 30,000
people. They didn't even bother stopping them, did they?
Going on the pitch. No, because you'd ensure a riot. There's no point. And also, look, these fans probably deserve it, have their moment of elation. I think these moments go down in history, and they were certainly incredible scenes to see. People, as you say, just before the final whistle, vaulting over the barriers to be as close to the pitch as possible. They were just stood on the
side of the pitch, just waiting.
Exactly. And the referees knew. I think, like you say, they say to the captains, 4 minutes added time, but they actually only play 2. And they know that that's going to happen. I didn't
realise that was going to happen, so I was a bit like, why is he blowing
so
early on this guy's
They say to them, look, I'll blow after, probably after this throw-in, they'll say, look, we're going to give it up now, so they can all get off as quick as possible. I think he must have told his linesman on the other side, because he started darting over before he'd even blown the final whistle, and then they all rushed off at, Speedy Gonzales pace.
We can say it's all good at pitch invasion, but we have seen before some fans are idiots, and they attack the rest. They attack the Carlisle players, so they have to get off the pitch as soon as possible. Yeah, for the Derby players, it's obviously amazing. You get lifted up and everything, but if I'm the goalkeeper or the linesman on the other side, I'm running as fast as I can.
Thoughts were that Derby's players would all run off the pitch, but I think Evu Adams, Iron Cashin and Liam Thompson all stuck around and were lifted in a sort of godly way into the air.
That's a worst nightmare for the stewards. We got to get them
out, but no, they were enjoying it. Someone handed Iron Cashin I think a Strongbow dark fruits the moment he sort of was hoisted on someone's shoulders. I think he downed in the moment, which, dangerous game to play, drinking something someone's just given you, some grando has just given you at a football match, but I'm sure he was fine with it. Had quite the night, as Instagram Live can attest, as he went live from Revolution Jacuba in the centre of Derby at 1:30 in the morning, absolutely caterwauling down the end of his phone. But it seemed like they all had a pretty decent night to celebrate.
Did you have a good night, Alfie?
It was rather good. After the game, I somehow ended up being invited into the sort of players' lounge bit. I didn't know anyone, which is probably slightly awkward because, this is a room full of people who all know each other, including the players, and I didn't know anyone, but what can you do? You got to settle into these things, which was helped by a few free drinks tokens, and then we were sort of fine and worked the room quite well. And somehow found myself holding the trophy that you get for coming in second place.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, indeed. It was a decent day, I've got to say.
And the medal around your neck, you can take that as well.
But the Scott Loach's silver medal.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, mate. Deserved the opportunity. So
apologies. You can tell it's sort of the weekend sort of repeating on me a bit now as I woke up.
It was a long weekend, wasn't it? Pub quiz as well yesterday.
Yes, I woke up over the past few days feeling a bit... the old throat is not feeling amazing. We're sort of, we've got to pay for these things somehow. But yes, the alcohol was free-flowing after the final whistle.
Why not take it?
There was work to be done first, but as soon as that was done, everyone was like, right, cool. We don't do this every week, but let's all go for a drink.
Literally everyone. I saw someone from Radio Derby in Potworld.
Really?
We won't name names on social media.
Yeah, that's right. Funny.
Other people. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Hey, you've got to let your hair down. You've got to let your hair down with these things. And it is, ultimately, I think the amazing thing is, and something I was quite privileged to be able to see and do, in fact, was the shots of that game are something that will go down in Derby County history. Just a pitch invasion as big as that. I mean, I mentioned before me being a Stoke fan. Those images of Stoke's promotion, we were promoted automatically to the Premier League in second in the table. So, not champions, but it doesn't matter. The pitch invasion there is legendary, and the people who... everyone has the apocryphal story of, I was the one who hoisted, Andy Griffin onto my shoulders at the end, that kind of thing. All really legendary moments, and the shots of Tony Pulis attempting to run down the tunnel were, quite iconic as well.
Oh, yeah, because obviously it's Stoke, you don't have the
tunnel's in the corner, it's not near the dugout. Yeah. So he's like running, covering his face with his cap, as if people wouldn't spot who he was, having stood in the technical area for 90 minutes. And again, did he make it
out?
Another one of those. He just about made it out, but the players didn't. I think they all got mobbed, really, but quite an infamous thing. But those scenes go down in club history, don't they? So it's quite a privilege to be there on Saturday, I've got to be honest. But yeah, a mad day. And the pubs and bars and restaurants of Derby have literally never been busier, apparently.
Financial... accounts done for the year, isn't it, for them?
Oh, this is the thing, right? Yeah, absolute killing on that night. You'd probably have a week off if you'd like.
Probably
So
good.
quite
They
the
got
one.
so much custom. Fair play.
Yeah, and a good game indeed. And now we see how Paul Warne's side do in the Championship next season.
It'd be interesting for Paul because obviously he's managed in Championship before, but with Rotherham, who obviously have always had the lowest budget. So it'd be interesting to see if he's actually capable of managing at that level, because I don't think it's a fair indication looking at him at Rotherham.
I'm also interested to know what Derby are now in the Championship under their new ownership. I don't know what our expectations of them
Mel Morris
should be.
wanted to get to the Premier League. He was putting,
and
all
obviously
the money
he took such a big gamble that it
Didn't
did
pay off.
exactly the opposite of paid off in the most extreme, where they ended up going into administration and obviously going down. Now,
This
since
owner won't
the
do that,
new
though.
ownership of David Klaus, who, again, the man saved Derby County and
Lovely man as well.
seems, yes, really down-to-earth person, but as far as financially and with the club is concerned, I'm unsure of what level or what realistic expectation we should have for them.
I think most Derby fans right now they might still be in the emotion of Saturday, but I think they would just take staying up next season in Championship, trying to build from there. Interested to see if some of their better players get poached, as you say, maybe they don't have the biggest financial book.
And if not, maybe it's
we'll
wise that you end up selling players like Cash In or,
But then
as sad as it is.
Yeah, but then you can't really sell the spine of your team all at once. There's going to be a balancing act there.
Yeah, in between
Interesting, actually. It's
investing
interesting summer.
properly, figuring out how to get the most out of your assets, whether you keep them or sell them on to try and build the team a bit more. But as I say, I don't know where we should expect them to be, but definitely
Well, the Championship's
trying
so
to stay up
competitive,
is definitely the number one goal, isn't it? Well, you got to say, what you do need to stay up in the Championship is a bit of belief, which Stoke this weekend mathematically safe now, so I believed.
We'll talk about that after.
And we will talk about that after a bit of share. Okay, we are back on the stream.
Hello to all our viewers.
Yes, just exclusively on the stream while Share plays out over the airwaves, of course.
Do we have a prediction for where Derby might come?
This is I
bets at
really
all?
don't know.
Yeah.
I can't gauge at
I think
all
lower
what we're aiming
mid-table,
for.
lower.
But yeah, I think survival is ultimately the...
I can't see them doing an Ipswich.
The number one goal here. Or, Wrexham or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't see that at all, to be honest. I just think it's sort of... Realism has to come first in this situation.
Yep.
It's definitely what I would caution. But I don't know. They've got a really good, as we say, spine of that team that they have is pretty decent. Maybe the one problem is they are a bit old.
Quite experienced.
Curtis Nelson, players like that, who have been amazing for them this season, but can they still do it in the Championship? I suppose we'll see. And then also, Ibu Adams, they have to re-sign him. They have to give it a go at least. Been incredible for him
but
this
Cardiff
season.
might have something to say about that. Be a very interesting summer.
Indeed it will.
And some non-league clubs, by the way, are already signing players.
Wow.
I don't know whether you've seen that. Dorking Wanderers have already signed someone. They're all doing these retain lists.
Incredible.
And stuff.
Right, we'll be back on air in a moment. Right, okay, let's talk about the Championship then, after we talked about the team that are going to be heading back up there. Portsmouth, of course, also champions in League One, and that means also on the last day, Lincoln missed out on the playoffs to get to the Championship, so we'll see who comes up through those as well. But Derby and Portsmouth confirmed to be back in the league next season. But what do we make of what's happening there this week? Stoke, of course, mathematically safe now after a convincing win on the road against Southampton.
Was it convincing, seriously?
Yeah.
Was it?
I think we played pretty well. I haven't watched the whole game, but I've seen the highlights, and a pretty convincing performance.
That's a big win, because Southampton are good.
Southampton are good. Russell Martin's tactic of strangulating the team with so much possession that hopefully eventually they can, push through and score. Yep. It's crazy the way that they play sometimes, but a pretty impressive win on the road, 1-0 away. Tyrese Campbell scoring the goal, a player who's come in for some flack over the season for not quite being clinical enough and never really picking back up from where he left off all those seasons ago when he had an impressive run curtailed by injury for Stoke. But it looks like we are safe now, and we'll be inevitably go into the summer and do the usual. We'll be good this season. We can go again. We'll rebuild. We believe in this manager. However, I'd say that in sort of jest, because I think he might do a decent job next season if we give him enough time and a decent amount of resources, and are just logical about it, hopefully. But we'll see. It's all in the air at the minute, as we said, off air, but to the YouTube stream, if you're watching, because, of course, the music that goes on cannot go out on YouTube for copyright reasons, so we may keep nattering on during some of the song breaks, so you get some extra content there if you want it. But we had a small discussion, or carried on the discussion, about where we thought Derby would place. Portsmouth again in that discussion, similarly,
I don't
not
know
quite
what to
sure
expect from them.
where they aim, because again, a team who were in the Premier League, 10, 15 years ago now.
I think
probably.
if a team like Bolton got up through the playoffs, I think they'd have probably more ambition than those two.
Yeah, it's just quite hard to gauge where their budget will be and where they could realistically aim. But how's the table shaping up at the minute, and what do you make of the Championship this season?
We've only got one. Well, we've got a game tonight, Coventry Ipswich, but we've only got the weekend's fixtures left. So we know that Birmingham need to win on the final day to stay up. Pretty much know that Huddersfield are down, not mathematically, but they have to beat Ipswich and hope that everything goes their way and the turning goal difference and all that. Sheffield Wednesday only need a point stay up. We got Blackburn and Plymouth also down there, so it's between those clubs.
Rotherham, of course, already faced
and
the
it is too tight to call, Alfie. I cannot call it, because Birmingham, put form aside, they will come out and they will go to win the game, and their home form or their home performances are much better than away. So
of course we spoke about the top end of the table there, Southampton losing to Stoke.
they're not in good form heading
They
into the
are
playoffs,
not
are
quite, no. Is this table correct? It's
West
telling me that
Brom-
they won their last game. I didn't know.
West Brom also 3 defeats on the bounce. They're not in good form. Hull could sneak into the playoffs. Norwich are in decent form, heading to the playoff picture. And then it will be either Leeds or Ipswich, who would be the favourites.
Yes, so this is the interesting one, is Leeds and Ipswich, who have both been decidedly yo-yoing between each other after both starting the season, the three of Leicester, Leeds and Ipswich, looking like neither one of them was going to give up on clinching first place. Well, that dropped away, and then it looked like Ipswich and Leeds were attempting and not giving up on second place, and then it looked like both of them for quite a few weeks were refusing to not lose and try and throw. It was like the battle to throw away second place for a while, but currently tied on points. Leeds are currently in second.
Well, Ipswich have a game tonight.
Exactly.
They're at
Ipswich
Coventry.
in third, both on 90 points, but Ipswich have 2 games in hand.
I think Ipswich will do it.
And it is in Ipswich's hands. I hope they do it, because I think they really do deserve to go up, and Ciaran McKenna's side do. And we spoke, of course, to Callum on this show, who covers Ipswich and is an Ipswich fan, and quite the rollercoaster ride they're going on. And it'll be a real shame if they miss out on that. And something that I think Paul Warren mentioned after the game, and a few people who are Derby fans and people involved with Derby County mentioned that if you end up in the position that, say, Derby were in and that Ipswich are in now, where it's in their hands to go off automatically, and then you get dragged into the playoffs, the odds are sort of against you in a sense.
Mentally and everything.
We hope that Ipswich can do it, I think. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah, because they've got Huddersfield on the final day as well, whilst Leeds have got Southampton. So I think it's in Ipswich's court there.
Is it Hull, West Brom, Norwich, Southampton and Ipswich all in the playoff places at the moment?
Hull are just outside.
Oh yes, sorry, Hull are the ones. Sorry, competing for. That's what I meant. Competing for the playoff places. I think Middlesbrough are too far off now, so they are the teams competing for the playoffs. Quite interesting to see what happens there. Again, it's just a real show of how we spoke a few weeks ago about the Premier League and how at times it can feel a bit boring and a bit. I mean, I know it's quite tight at the top this season and has been going back and forth, but nothing is ever as close as the Championship, and ever as exciting and unpredictable as the Championship for trying to figure out
apart from
what's going to happen at the end.
Everything is up for grabs on the final day, which is so exciting, and I think there's going to be another twist to come on Saturday, Alf.
Oh, it's a big prediction there. More twists and turns in the Championship, indeed. Shall we move on to some quizzing after a song? This is Call Me by Blondie. Okay, welcome back onto the stream. Debbie Harry is singing away. Bit of Call Me, a cracking tune. As you may be able to tell throughout the show, my throat is a bit a bit on the weak side. So Ciaran might have to take over conversation from me at any moment. And please be fair.
We're doing well so far. We're doing well.
Yes, just about.
Just on the Championship, that big prediction. I think West Brom will miss out on Saturday.
Do you? Ooh, Chris Hall
they're
will
on
not
bad
be happy.
form. Preston are pretty well drilled. They're not a bad side.
It's very true. Wow, that is a bold prediction. Hull as well are a team who, for the whole season,
expect Hull to win at Plymouth, although Plymouth are obviously fighting as well. Decent home form.
Yes, I seem to remember saying that Plymouth had no fight when they went into their game against champions Leicester.
I sort of want Plymouth
and
to
then
stay
they
up.
won against me too now.
Yeah, I like Plymouth.
Now they're not in contention against Stoke. I quite like them as a team. I just didn't want them to usurp us and end up with us being relegated.
I think Blackburn could go down as well because they're at Leicester. Leicester want to put on a show. They're lifting the title. You could see away for Birmingham, Plymouth, or Sheffield Wednesday to stay up. Sheffield Wednesday especially just needing a point. But Blackburn, that is not the fixture you want, is it?
Not in any way, shape or form. It's interesting. I just don't think, as I say, the Championship is just so unpredictable.
1 minute,
just
one
no
team's
way
going to
of
stay up.
knowing.
Next minute, it's going to be another, isn't it? It's going to be tossing and turning.
Definitely, quite a mad one. Now you've done your Wikipedia.
I have.
people.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I've got
yet.
theme as well.
Come up with a theme, so I'm just going to randomly type in some things. You keep waffling on. I'm going to mute because I feel like I'm going to cough a few times.
Well, we saw the end of the League 1 and League 2 seasons as well, didn't we, at the weekend? And that was tossing and turning at times at the bottom and the top. You know, Cheltenham went down, even though Burton lost 3 or 4-0 at Fleetwood. And Burton, I think, got to sack that manager. Personally, I don't think he's done a good job at all. They were terrible form they had it, in the second half of the season. Looked like Cheltenham might be doing it at one stage, and it went back to 1-1. And then it was interesting, the Colchester v Crewe game, which was on Sky Sports. Both teams needed a point. And in the final minutes, when it was 1-1, they literally just, both teams just didn't bother. They just passed the ball around and just thought, yeah, this is nice. We both got what we want. Let's just leave it at that. The last 5 minutes were just, nothing happened. Which is quite funny. Sutton United relegated. They couldn't pull off the escape under Mr. Morrison. No relation.
No relation whatsoever. Oh, we've gone into Crocodile Rock. I thought we were about to come in there, but no. Yes, Crocodile Rock by Elton John is like, so you can continue.
Yeah, we saw the National League playoffs as well. I've started Altrincham v Solihull Moors. No, Bromley v Solihull. Why did I say Altrincham? Because Altrincham lost to Bromley. Bromley v Solihull Moors at Wembley. That will be a new club in the EFL as well. So some people who've done the 92 will now go to 91, which has been a cause of frustration on Twitter.
Oh, well, of course. I have found a theme.
Have you?
For your Wikipedia quiz, which I think you'll enjoy.
Brilliant. I'm off to another playoff game tonight, so I'm looking forward to Macclesfield v Worksop.
Macclesfield.
The Northern Premier League.
Robbie Savage's men.
Yeah, second visit for me there this season. It'll be a good game because I've seen Worksop as well, and they were excellent when we saw them.
I shall be off to Alfreton Town tomorrow evening.
Yes, that's a big game
as well, Derby County women's under-20s face Chesterfield ladies in the Derbyshire FA Cup final as well.
Excellent, yeah.
That'll be quite good. Got a few competitions bubbling away. The end of the season, it does get quite exciting, doesn't it? A lot on the line.
You look forward to these games more than about the normal season.
Oh, 100%. 100%. This is the thing about people say about the Champions League and the group stage, where, I quite enjoy leaving a quite weird, two teams that you'd never usually watch playing each other in some group stage of a low-level European sort of persuasion. Just leave that game on in the background. I quite like that, but a lot of people do say the group stage does get a bit boring for them. But when it comes to from quarterfinals onwards, or round of 16 onwards, it's box office television.
Well, we've got the semi-finals starting tonight, haven't we?
Indeed, exactly, that you do not want to miss at all.
Well, I'll be missing it.
Yes, because you're going to non-league, which is sort of fine. But there you go. You've made your bed. Now you must lie in it, Mr. Morrison. So there you go. It's fine. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to a bit of non-league football.
And
a beautiful day for it, as we said.
I shall probably whack on some Champions League then, and then just sort of get on with whatever it is I'm doing.
Or Coventry Ipswich on Sky.
Oh, that's true.
Have that.
God, there's so much choice. I've got selection anxiety. I don't know what to choose. Wow. Football, everyone. It's quite good, isn't it? We also have a few other stories we're going to talk about after the quiz, including a political angle on
Alfie
a spin bowler becoming a candidate in the upcoming election.
Elections coming up. You voting on Thursday, Alfie? Will you be there?
I will vote. I'm not going to say for who on air for obvious reasons. Because it's not a political show and will allow you to make your own minds up on that. Of course.
It might be the best party in the country, though, that we're voting for. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, shall we? We've got a bit more Crocodile to go by Elton John. Only 20 seconds, and we'll be back in on air. Jurgen Klopp will make an appearance through his little sting that we have him say. I also thought there was a way that the stream could hear bed music on here, but it appears to have been removed, so I do apologise.
Sorry, folks.
For that. Yeah, you can't. Right, we'll be coming back in a moment. On the airwaves. The quiz. Wikipedia football quiz. We do it every week. Back on the airwaves here. It's 2 minutes to 4 on Phantom Radio. This is the sports show. This is the Wikipedia footballs quiz. Ciaran, you got a theme this week?
I have got a theme, yeah.
I remember I had a theme last week. You've copied me now. We've started doing themes to this. A bit more thought going into...
Prepared.
Yes, exactly. A bit more thought going into our radio show. Much needed thought, I would say. How are we feeling this week?
I'm feeling good. I felt like the quiz last night, the pub quiz, went well for me because I contributed at the end to the music connections round.
That was clue. That was clue. That was true.
That's true.
Yes, the pub quiz at the Greyhound.
My Eurovision knowledge
that we now frequent on a sort of weekly basis. Apart from next week because it's a bank holiday, so it's not on. But yeah, it's quite good. The other week there was a round about cars named after places that did not go down well in the room.
No.
But anyway, we're not doing that. We are doing our own quiz.
We are. It's not Eurovision.
And shall we get on with it?
We shall. With our first player.
Wonderful.
Who started his career at Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay, do we have a year to attach?
At 1992.
Tottenham in 1992. Wow, it's not easy, is it, that?
No.
I'm going to say Darren Anderton.
The other week, didn't we?
Oh yeah, and you didn't know who he was. Sorry, why have I guessed
I'm going
that?
to go for someone.
What a stupid guess! You didn't know who he was when I put him on the other.
I didn't really know who he was.
Go for it. We'll
so then he moved to Arsenal.
Tottenham to Arsenal. How do I not know this? No, that's naughties. The only player I can think of Tottenham to Arsenal is Sol Campbell, but that was definitely not 1992. There's a lot.
Well, he
of
started
time.
his career at 92 though. So obviously he didn't move in 92.
How long was he at Tottenham for though? Okay, I'm going to go for Sol Campbell.
He was at Tottenham for 9 years.
Wow.
Joined Arsenal in 2001. It is Sol Campbell.
Yes.
Portsmouth, Notts County, back to Arsenal, and Newcastle United before his
strange old
managerial career at Macclesfield Town, who I'm going to tonight, as I said on the stream, and Southend United.
What a strange old stint at Notts County in there, of course, when Sven-Göran Eriksson was drafted in and they shot for the stars and ultimately, much like Icarus, went too close to the sun, burnt up and shot back down the table again. Quite an interesting, strange time in football that was, when they started buying everyone up in the lower leagues.
Sol Campbell is a pretty local man to me back home. I've seen him outside of Costa.
Oh, you've seen him about the place?
Fun fact. Won't say anymore.
Oh, well, what drink, what did he go for? Mocha, hot chocolate,
I don't know.
coffee?
He was there in his sunglasses outside in the sun, minding his own business with his...
Very nice. Okay, let's move on then in that case.
We need someone with a bit more foreign language skills, because
you may include teams that you can't pronounce, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, okay. I've done that now.
Well, we're here now.
Gladsack's hero.
Gladsack's hero. I couldn't even guess what country that would be based
Where he started
in.
his career in. Do you want to know the year?
Go for it.
1981.
1981. Wow, that is quite old. Gladsack's hero. Is that like an Irish thing? No, Scottish? I don't know. Shall we move on to the next club?
If I can say the next club again.
Again, yes.
Because it's HV at the start, which, how do you say HV?
I don't know. Don't know. Give it a go.
Hvidovre. Oh, it's Hvidovre. I don't expect you to get it from these first two, three anyway.
Sort
so
of Scandinavian in some sense.
yeah.
Jari Litmanen.
No, it's not.
Okay, let's move on to the next.
Then move to Bromby, a team I can pronounce from the Scandinavian region.
Blonde-haired guy. What is his name?
He's got light coloured hair. Is it blonde? I don't know.
Sort of big, chubby cheeks. Striker. His name is not going to come to me. I'm going to have to keep going.
No. He then got his big move his career to Manchester United.
Oh, is it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
No, that's a good guess though, the Scandinavia.
Okay. Nordic, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, that's a good guess.
I don't know who I mean here, but I just can't think.
292 appearances for the Red Devils.
Really?
In the 90s.
So Scandinavian player for Kanchelskis. No, it's random.
No.
Throw out a random player. Who am I thinking of? I think the player I was thinking of moments ago was Thomas Brolin, by the way, but he doesn't quite. He doesn't fit in at all anymore. Continue.
Then moved to Sporting in Portugal.
Got nothing?
Again, the Man United is the
what
big one.
What year are we on here now?
1999 to 2001.
I'm just clueless, I've got to say. I think we're just going to have to keep going.
I'll tell you the next two in tandem. Aston Villa and Manchester City. He ended his career at United's biggest rivals.
Is it Peter Schmeichel?
With a famous son who used to play for Leicester. Yes, it is Peter Schmeichel.
Does Casper still play in France? He played for Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you know
Peter
how
Schmeichel.
Sol Campbell and Peter Schmeichel are maybe
linked? I don't know. Godparent of one of their child.
Not
I don't know.
Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, Man City. Do you know the theme? Going for?
Big Six.
No, but
I don't know. Well, it just counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it counts too fair. Yeah.
Oh, they played for their rivals. Is that the theme?
Maybe on so no.
Oh, okay.
That's the theme.
Have we got one more left?
We do, because it was the North London derby. So
let's get into it.
So this one is probably the niche of the three. Started at Hibernian.
So played
in
for
1997.
The other Edinburgh team, presumably. Or not? We're going back to England, I presume. Scottish player in
97. He started his career.
Okay.
He had a loan to Stenhousemuir in that as well.
Oh well, now you've said that, I know it exactly. Continue.
He then moved to a smaller club in Scotland called Rangers. He should have stayed at Hibs.
Petty. I have no clue.
He had a loan spell at Wolverhampton Wanderers during his time at Rangers, and then he moved permanently to Wolves in 2001.
Scottish player who played for Wolves. Chris Uwalumu.
No, it's not.
He was there at Derby's promotion-winning game on Saturday. I presume for Sky Sports, maybe, as one of the sort of... No, I don't know who he was working for.
They were in the studio.
Anyway,
Sky Sports. They weren't even there.
I have no idea who he was working for.
You'd have thought they would have wanted to be there by the action.
He was about the place. I saw Don Goodman in person.
Oh.
Yeah, someone had a bit of banter with him about how they preferred Lee Hendry. Just walked up to him and said, "Oh God, I would have preferred Lee Hendry."
I saw Lee Hendry at Villa when I was in Villa Press Box.
Nice play.
Yeah. I saw Alex Bruce as well.
Oh.
I don't know why. He was there.
Macclesfield, he was at for a while.
He was at, yeah.
Indeed.
Anyway, we're getting off topic here in the serious nature of the quiz.
Yes, sorry. I don't know.
At Wolves, and then this is the rivalry link because he then crossed the Glasgow border.
Oh, so he did go.
Partick Thistle. No, I'm joking. Celtic.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just can't think of...
Who's played for Rangers and Celtic?
Kenny Miller. No, he never played for Celtic, did he? Did he? I don't know now. Now I've said that out loud.
Well, he only made 33 appearances for Celtic.
I don't know. Is that correct?
He then moved to Derby County before going back to Rangers.
Is it correct? Oh my god.
It's getting me there.
Get in.
And then we got a load of other teams as well. We got Bursaspor, Cardiff City, Vancouver Whitecaps. Loved Rangers so much he thought he'd go back again. Livingston for 2 appearances. Dundee. And then Partick Thistle, actually. He actually ended his career at the third Glasgow club.
About them, yes. Well, guess what? He's a fabulous commentator when you know what he's saying. Sometimes he gets overexcited and just sort of goes, and you sort of realise he's sort of mumbling a bit. And you're, Kenny, mate, I caught none of that. He just gets so emotional in the moment that, you can't quite hear what he's saying. And I'm quite good at listening to the Scottish accent. It's an accent I really quite like, but sometimes his overexcitement gets in the way of coherence on the old commentary position. But Kenny Miller, wow, what a shout that is. There we go. That was Ciaran's round of the Wikipedia quiz. Now time for Corner Shot, a bit of brimful of Asher, and then I'll be challenging Ciaran. Hello, welcome again, stream.
How do you think you did, Alfie, on the quiz?
It's not fine. I think maybe if I'd picked up on the theme a tad earlier, that would have been more beneficial, but we did alright. I quite like the theme I've caught for you. Sorry for the delay in returning to the stream there. I just need to rest the old throat every now and again.
Got important emails.
But it'll be fine when, I'll just make you think out loud for this quiz, and then therefore... I won't have to do quite as much nattering on. Again, this is the Phantom Radio Sports Show. You're watching the stream on YouTube. Hello to you. Give them a wave, Ciaran. This will be up and available to listen. In fact, you can do it now. This is the magic of streaming on YouTube. You can scroll back if you've missed anything. And then also you can scroll forward through the gaps that we leave.
Tell your friends about it so we get more viewers.
That's true. Tell your friends. Most people seem to be listening to us via podcast medium now, especially after Christmas.
After show. Yeah.
Because people's times don't seem to align with when we're live, so obviously that's quite important. Give us a listen and catch up. 10 seconds left on Norman and his Brimful of Asher. Norman, of course, Fatboy Slim. Here we go. We'll be back in on air.
Wish me luck.
See you in a momo. Alright, here we go. Now, it's my turn to put Ciaran under the spotlight. It's the Wikipedia footballing quiz again. There's a theme to this one. Tell us if you get it and when you get it. Halfway through.
Let's do this.
Indeed, the first player started in 2016, making 0 appearances for Anderlecht, where instead he went on loan to Heerenveen and Excelsior over those 2 seasons, making 19 appearances for Excelsior in 2017 to 18 and 7 for Heerenveen in 2017. Done that in the wrong direction there. He then moved on to Oostend from 2018 to 2020.
Oostend is probably still in Belgium. I have no idea. So it's going to be a young Belgian prodigy, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Belgium's quite an old squad when you look at, when I think of some of the bigger names that are in my head right now. Maybe no, Doku's not Belgium, is he? No, you're gonna have to move on, Alf.
Okay, fabulous. He then makes the move to, is it Reims? Stade de Reims in France in 2020, but he's loaned out back to Oostend for 6 games of that season for returning to Reims. He's a permanent player there, where he remained until 2022, making 73 appearances. A Belgian player.
God, this is tough. 73 appearances for Reims. Can't even tell you who
This
plays
is
for Reims
this is
right
difficult, but he gives you the theme.
Okay.
Okay, he then left Reims in 2022 to join Leicester City, where he's now made 72 appearances. Belgium,
so he's still at
Leicester. He remains at Leicester.
Is that Wout Faes?
It is Wout Faes, indeed it is.
What's the theme then, is it?
And there is your theme set out.
Players who look like Sideshow Bob.
Have a think, because the next one started his career in 1980 for Union Magdalena in Colombia.
1980. It's not going to be that goalkeeper, is it?
It is not.
Whose name I
René Higuita, that's who you're thinking of. He moved to other Colombian team, Millonarios, in 1984, Deportivo Cali in 1985, and then before leaving South America to join Montpellier in 1987. Colombian 80s player.
80s Colombia.
And think about what the clue is.
I have no idea, Alfie. You're going to have to continue.
He moved to Real Valladolid for 17 appearances in 1991, before then returning to Colombia with Deportivo Independiente Medellin in 1992, making 10 appearances. Then joining Atletico Junior in 1993, another Colombian side. He's had plenty of teams. He then went off in 1995 to play for Tampa Bay Mutiny.
Oh, gets easier. I can't even think of an 80s Colombian player.
Was loaned back to Deportivo Cali during that season. Then went to Miami Fusion, then Tampa Bay Mutiny, before finishing his career in 2002 with Colorado Rapids. A Colombian player.
I have no idea.
Think of the clue. Maybe you've never heard of him. I sort of hope you have, but I don't know.
I can't think of one 80s Colombian player at the minute.
You're gonna have to tell me. Possibly the most famous 80s Colombian player, Carlos Valderrama. No, not
No,
registering. Okay, fine.
No idea.
Anyway, he follows the theme.
You could tell me he's my local carpenter.
once
I'd have no
more.
idea.
Okay, I'll show you a picture of Carlos Valderrama. What do you think the theme is?
Oh, well, yeah, I was right with the Sideshow Bob theme.
Indeed. So, next up, we have Standard Liège. In 2006, this player started his career.
David Luiz.
Oh, not quite, no.
I'm just thinking of...
He moved in 2008, moved to Everton, where he remained until 2013.
Must be Fellaini.
Marouane Fellaini,
Man
who
United.
then went to Manchester United for 119 games, and then on to Shandong Taishan in China, where he remained until 2023 before retiring from the sport. Now, we do have another one, but you'll get it very quickly.
Okay.
Started his career at Vitória in Brazil.
David Luiz, is it?
It is indeed David Luiz.
Makes more sense than where Fellaini started.
He went on loan in 2007 to Benfica, where he then signed permanently until 2011.
Chelsea.
When he joined Chelsea until 2014. When Paris Saint-Germain took him on for 2 years. Returned to Stamford Bridge till 2019 for joining, and this fits in with your theme, joining arch rivals Arsenal. And then going to Flamengo in Brazil, where he remains to this day.
Oh, he's still playing?
Yeah,
How
I
old is
didn't
he?
know that. He is 37 years of age.
Oh, right. Oh, not bad.
There we go. That was the Wikipedia football quiz.
That was a good theme.
Thank you for joining us. We have some Premier League to talk about. We also have some other stories in other sports to talk about. But what do we want to talk about first, Ciaran?
Let's just go to the Premier League.
Let's do it, shall we?
Yeah.
Premier League table, how's it shaping up? North London derby at the weekend. What do we make of it, Ciaran?
3-2 to the Arsenal. Yeah, well, Arsenal on top. City have the game in hand. Villa look like they're going to get that 4th spot now in Champions League because obviously Tottenham lost to Arsenal and they've still got City to play as well. Bottom of the table, it's between 3 clubs now. Forest, Luton and Burnley, because Everton ensured survival.
Do you want to do that accent again?
No,
or,
I don't want to offend the
no?
people of Burnley.
Burnley. Do it with passion.
Burnley?
There you go. Wow.
Someone
it's
from my
a mumbling
secondary
mess.
school was originally from Burnley, so he had that accent day in, day out. But
Day
all to
in, day
hear.
out. Yeah, he wasn't turning it off and on again.
She, actually.
She wasn't turning it off and on again, you know. I think if that was their accent, that was their accent. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, so it's getting really interesting now that Everton ensured survival. Brentford survive at the weekend as well because of other results. So a little bit like a championship. I think it's going to go down to the final day, the relegation places and who wins the league. So it's pretty interesting.
Forest and Luton look to be the ones in the big battle at the bottom.
Yeah, well, I think Forest probably have enough to stay up, I'd say. They've got Sheffield United next. But you're thinking they should probably win that. If you can't win that, it deserves to go down.
Yes, just a point in it, of course, at the bottom between the two sides.
Luton have lost the momentum now. They're not in good form at all. I can't see them staying up now, unfortunately. Burnley are actually in good form now, beaten in like 7 games.
Yeah, not bad.
So I think they could do it. They play Forest on the final day as well, so they just need to be, a point behind or something. They can stay up miraculously.
So there is a bit of wiggle room there in the table. Quite interesting. I just think title-wise,
What do you think?
that game in hand Man City
so
have
annoying.
is just so frustrating.
It's at Tottenham as well, and you just think, will Tottenham give Arsenal the title?
If
you can't
they
see it.
could possibly draw with Man City, that would
Still be
put
good
it
enough.
in the balance a bit more, wouldn't it?
I think Fulham away could be maybe tad tricky for City.
Fulham
aren't a
away,
bad
yeah.
side.
Always
but
a team that you sort of accidentally trip over at some point.
they obviously beat Arsenal at Craven Cottage in December, so they can do it. But yeah, Wolves and West Ham aren't bad sides, but at home you'd have to fancy City pretty highly in both of those. So no.
Oh, it's annoying, isn't it?
It's annoying that
As
City are going to
discussed,
win it again.
In the Championship, there's sort of, for the whole season, there was no way of knowing which of those teams battling for it would make it. Whereas in the Premier League, even though it is still so tight, somehow we all go, "Ooh, gonna be City, isn't it again?"
Yeah.
But anyway, we repeat ourselves week on week. All we can do is watch and see.
Yeah.
The other
Still
thing
games to
we
be played.
spoke about off the airwaves during whoever it was it Blondie we were playing? No, Brimful of Asher, of course, by Corner Shop. And Norman Cook, who is, of course, Fatboy Slim, while we were playing that song, had a discussion about what games we were going to watch tonight, and sort of realised that towards the tail end of the season, it all gets a bit interesting, and there is a lot of choice.
Screen. Yeah.
Some Champions League action, some, non-league action that you're going out to see live. You've also got the Ipswich tonight playing. Really interesting choices you've got available to you.
Do indeed. I wouldn't know which one to put on if I was staying at home.
No, I think I'm going to attempt to dual screen it in some way. But yes, the sort of business end of the season does get very interesting. I'll be intrigued to see whether the changes to the Champions League next season actually make a difference as to whether the group stage is a bit more watchable. Because as I've mentioned previously, I do quite like just whacking on a game with two minnows. Two European minnows who you would never see playing each other, putting it on in the background, but it's not box office telly, whereas when you get to the knockout rounds, it really is worth the watch. Exactly, especially this season. That draw was quite insane and really gave you everything you would have wanted from the draw. So it'll be interesting to see whether the new format will be able to pep that up a bit next season. But yeah, a lot of choice and selection as to what to watch tonight, of course.
Yes, indeed. Should we go on to the next story, Al?
Yes, so we're getting political now. Apologies, maybe I should go to a different bed music or something. I don't know. Do we have any serious political based? It was funny
on
bed
Radio
music?
2 the other day. Jeremy Vine's show again. They just played a little insert from Hamza Yusuf saying that he'd resigned, and the next song was really sad and really downbeat, as if they were really, really sorry for him, and it went in really. It was quite funny, actually.
Well, anyway, we shall bring you the political news to an instrumental version of Die Young by Kesha, which I think is the right tone. No idea. Okay, so former England cricketer Monty Panesar is to stand for the Workers' Party at the next general election. The leader of the party that is socialist and yet socially conservative. It's a real odd one, not one I support.
You can't really be both, can you?
Yes, you can believe in distribution of wealth, but not distribution of fairness and equality to the people that you're distributing the wealth to for some bizarre reason. It's a strange thought. Anywho, look, they're not my political, they are, but that's not what this show's all about. We're on about sports. The reason we're mentioning this is it's former England cricketer Monty Panesar. George Galloway told LBC Radio this morning, Nick Ferrari's show,
not as good as ours,
that Monty Panesar would be standing for, is it Southall?
Southall. I don't know.
I don't know how you say it. I know sometimes
in London.
Like Southwark is one where it's not Southwark, as like an American tourist would say. But I'm never sure with some of them. But anyway, yes, he's standing in London. The former England cricketer who played in those teams that included the likes of Freddie Flintoff, Andrew Strauss, of course, Alistair Cook. Think of Matt Pryor. I think he was the wicket
You're
keeper
doing all the thinking, mate.
at the time. I'm a bigger fan of cricket than Ciaran is, and even then I'm not the hugest fan of cricket. My brother takes that mantle in our household, so I never took it on that much. But in any case, he'll be standing for the Workers' Party of Britain in the upcoming elections, whenever that happens.
No.
The
actual election.
The general election, because George Galloway, the man who pretended to be a cat on Big Brother that time, because he's a totally serious politician who you should really listen to, because his views aren't dodgy on anything at all. Meow. Is set to unveil 200 candidates outside Parliament on Tuesday. He said, quote, that they will be some very interesting people, which is an interesting way of saying possibly a tad problematic, really. But Monty is among them, which is quite a surprise because he has called into LBC before with some quite progressive and forward-thinking views. So I wonder where he fits into the kaleidoscope of views that the Workers' Party appear to be allowing in. George Galloway, of course, the MP for Rochdale after he won that by-election 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Monty Panesar getting involved.
Well, he's not the first politician to get involved, is he?
Left arm spin bowler. You mean he's not the first cricketer to get involved? Because, of course, Lord Botham. Is it Lord Botham? Is that what he is? Yeah. Ian Botham in the House of Lords.
Or sporting people, because obviously Douglas Ross in Scotland is a linesman.
He is a linesman, and no one screams any abuse at him when he's on the side, of course, ever. I mean, it's a bold choice to remain in your linesman post as you have been an elected politician. It is a choice for the Tory party. Yes, it's an interesting.
But
one,
Tanny Gray Thompson as well in the Laws. We got many. So I don't know whether to wish him luck though. Do we do that? Who,
Monty Panesar? No, I'm not going to be wishing him luck. Yeah. Just because I'm not. I mean, we don't have to be bipartisan. We don't have to be unbiased on this show, do we? I don't think so.
Well, we're not rooting for him, are we? To win?
No, we're not sort of actively rooting for him.
He should stick to cricket.
We don't know. All right, let's not go there. It's a bit. We say the opposite thing about, Gary Lineker. When people say you should stick to football, we think those people are a bit silly and should allow Gary to say what he likes.
Where's Gary Lineker and Gary Neville standing?
Oh, God. Wow, we're getting into a debate that I wasn't sure I wanted to have now. But no, all I'm saying is I'm not actively supporting him. I'm just pointing it out. It's a bit of news. It's interesting, to see, obviously, these people go from sport into politics, and I'll be interested to hear what his actual sort of standing is and what his manifesto will be here, because I want to know what he thinks about the world if he's standing for election. But an interesting story nonetheless.
Yeah, is he going to agree on everything that Galloway agrees?
George Galloway has
There's not a line I would take.
Views on things that are, in some cases, an extreme version. So I do wonder. But anyway, this is If I Had a Gun. we're back. Now, we'll be saying goodbye on this show in around 25 minutes, but some people who are saying goodbye are finding it quite a difficult thing to do. Emma Hayes and Jurgen Klopp announced mid-season that they would be departing their respective roles as managers in the Premier League and WSL. Emma Hayes, of course, managed Chelsea for a pretty decent chunk of time and has had more success than any manager on these shores that we know of. As far as I'm aware, I can't name anyone else who's lifted more
Vic
trophies
Akers maybe,
than it. That's
at the very start.
That is true. That is true.
Champions
in the
League
modern,
as well.
let's say in the modern era, there has been no more successful manager in women's football than Emma Hayes, and she is departing to join the US women's soccer team after the end of this season. Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool manager, again, brought more success to Liverpool than they've seen for a few generations. He announced he would be leaving his post to go and do the opposite of Emma Hayes, not take on a big job. He's going to essentially to retire, as it were, and to finally enjoy the wonders of life and go travelling the world. This is what he said. But their goodbye and farewell tours not going quite as well as expected.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. I remember getting in a taxi once. The guy was a Liverpool fan. He said, Arsenal and Man City got to meet this weekend, so both of them are going to drop points. That means Liverpool, they're going to come through, win all their games, win the Premier League title. Well, how's that going,
horror
mate?
show in the Merseyside derby, all but sealed Liverpool's fate.
If Arsenal had done that, we'd have been called bottlers by now 1,000,000 times over. So you're bottlers, Liverpool. You haven't won a title.
It all but sealed Liverpool's fate as, at least their hand dropped away from the grasp of the Premier League trophy, and it looks like a fight between Arsenal and Manchester City now, as we discussed moments ago. But yes, Jurgen Klopp not enjoying his farewell.
Out of the Europa League as well. Pretty damning.
Indeed, there was one point in the season, not even that long ago, it was probably weeks ago, in fact, that people were mentioning the possibility of a quadruple that did look on, because Liverpool were in fine fettle all those weeks ago. But alas, no, that's not how we're ending up here.
Yep.
And Emma Hayes having similar problems on her goodbye.
Yeah, they also fought a quadruple, but then they played the best team, Arsenal, in that League Cup final, and we won 1-0. And then they're in the Champions League, and again they 1-0 up from the first leg at home at Stamford Bridge. I was worried. I thought Chelsea might get through. They are a good side at home with that 1-0 up, but no, bottled it.
And Emma Hayes complaining about the quote worst ever decision during the game. Referees coming in.
She's got a point that it's a poor decision.
Coming in for a bit of flack on that.
I don't know where Buchanan's supposed to put her foot really. I know she fouls, but just leave it at that. She's on a yellow. Just play on, ref.
But you can only play with what's in front of you, and unfortunately the decisions did not go the way of Chelsea, and so therefore they are out now.
They're out, and so that's another trophy gone. So now they can... Oh, they're out the FA Cup. Man United.
Only competing for the league, which is sort of almost out of their reach. Manchester City once more in the lead on 52 points, and Chelsea on 46.
So there's a dilemma for Arsenal on Sunday, because obviously we hate Chelsea more than Man City. So we're like, do we deliberately lose the game at Man City to sort of give them the title?
I think that's possibly a dilemma just for the fans. I don't think the players are juggling with that one.
That has been discussed a lot on the supporters group
chat. The old forums, chatting away about it. But yes, Emma Hayes and Jurgen Klopp having a tough time of it on their ways out. It looked like a perfect fanfare was set for both of them, but a few topsy-turvy weeks have really shown to that. Now, speaking of people who have had a difficult time this season, it's time for our favourite ever feature on this show. It is Pascal Chimbondo update time. Ciaran gives the lowdown.
Well, the season has ended. Skelmersdale United have run out of games, as we know.
Ran out of road.
Yeah, they are relegated. They couldn't end the season on a winning note. They lost 1-0 away to Caen Town on Saturday to finish their campaign bottom of the table with just 32 points and a goal difference of -77. That is not going to keep you in any division. Pascal, though, will be back on the turf playing this Saturday in a Wigan Athletic Legends match, if you'd like to go down to DW Stadium and see the man himself.
Oh, wow, he's still about the place despite his... Sorry. Pascal making me cough. I do apologise. This show is
There's been nothing on Pascal's future yet, so we presume he's going to be there next season at the minute, but we'll wait and see. Maybe next week, with a week gone, the off-season, we might get a bit more info.
Pascal's reputation has taken a bit of a slide this season. A bit of a battering, not as much as my throat, clearly, but we'll see what happens there. Keep you up to date. That was... Now, time for our other feature. Ciaran.
I know, we've actually got quite a bit to get through on this
and I'll let you get through it while I choke to death.
Yeah, and there's no birthdays. We're going purely, facts. So, on this day, 1938, the first televised FA Cup final took place between Huddersfield Town and Preston North End.
So it did.
And then 19 years ago today, Chelsea won the Premier League title for the first time. In 2012, Man City went on their way to winning the Premier League title with that 1-0 victory over Manchester United at the Etihad thanks to Vincent Kompany's header. Do you remember that game, Alf?
Yes, I do
it was
indeed.
A big game Monday night, wasn't it? They put an extra match of a day on for it.
Big Vinny Kompany putting his name down in the history books. Before, of course, he did that once again. And, quite a few times that he's been tipped for that statue. And, of course, back in the Premier League now, managing Burnley. How long for? We shall see.
And then on this day, which I literally found out 5 minutes ago, Leicester lifted the Premier League title in that fairy tale season. And, of course, the one and only Andrea Bocelli serenaded the King Power with his classic Time to Say Goodbye.
Once they started actually listening.
Yeah.
Did he not do Ness and Dormer as well?
Probably.
Yes, I feel he must have.
Both classics.
That happened. Anything else to report?
No, that is on
there
this
we go.
day.
That is on Phantom Radio.
Good on this day, actually.
It was. There's quite a jam-packed version.
Emotion if you support any of those clubs, isn't it? Looking back on that.
real emotion. Leicester heading back to the promised land of the Premier League. All those the season after they were dumped out, and possibly the sort of most liked team really in the Premier League for quite a consistent amount of time. No reason to hate Leicester unless you're Spurs, of course, because somehow Spurs came third in a 2-horse race that season.
Arsenal came second.
Which, yes.
We were the only team to beat Leicester twice in that season.
That is true. That is true.
And we still lost the title. We should have won the title that season, not Spurs. We should have.
No, Leicester should have, and they deserve to.
Well, I'm glad it was Leicester, obviously.
Please
have anyone, but yeah.
Hold off on your Arsenal-based agenda. There you go.
Wow.
Slammed.
Where was Stoke that season? Did it come anywhere?
We lost to Leicester. No, we drew 2-2 against Leicester, I think, away, and lost at home 2-1. Leicester and Stoke, I think, had the scoreline 2-1 or 2-2 for about 3 seasons in a row. It was, quite always a difficult test against them, to be fair. Interesting to see whether when they bounce back they can stay up.
They got the points deduction, haven't they? For the financial
Yes, looks like there's some...
they're going to be on the back foot.
Consequences coming down the road for them, and there was a bit of unrest amongst Leicester fans about the manager, despite the fact they've stormed the league, 97 points or whatever they're on at the minute.
Yep, that's right.
Could get triple figures, yet people are still not a big fan of the manager, which is quite a bizarre set of circumstances. The football's no good. We've gone up with 90 odd points and champions of the league with quite
Can't ask for any more.
Convincing style, but some background issues there that might come back to bite them. But
if you want Dean Smith back or Craig Shakespeare, then put your hand up.
Shakespeare holding 2 footballs under his arms at all times. Oh, what a guy! Indeed,
he was indeed.
Well, there we go. I think. Is there something else? I've forgotten now. I think that's it, isn't it? My throat is taking a bit of a battering, so we did
And
discuss...
there's the sunshine.
we did discuss an early curtailing of today's show because I will end up choking on air, which is
we've
not
had
ideal.
a good show.
We have indeed.
Yeah.
It's good vibes about the place, as we say, the May bank holiday coming up next week, and the sun is out to show for it. Hopefully Sean Dyche's appearance in the music video will be there by then. Derby County fans everywhere can continue celebrating their promotion to the championship in the lovely sunny sun. And of course you can all go about and enjoy your week. We'll be back next Tuesday, hopefully. Ciaran's got a mad dash to get here from the sounds of it. Where are you? Manchester,
yeah.
A bit of a mad dash to get here, but hopefully we'll be broadcasting with you again. That's all from the Phantom Radio Sports Show this week. I have been Alfie Dickin with a slight cough. You have been
Ciaran Morrison with no cough.
And these are, speaking of sunshine... Hold on, let's see if we've actually got that song available. We probably don't. No, cool. Speaking of sunshine, this is Oasis with Some Might Say. See you next week.